This will be a 2026 hate item tier list, something I haven't done in a long time. And since then, we also had a lot of new items added to the game. We have a lot of different categories here. Some items that are always good, or the best, you know, there's the best hate items you can possibly pick most of the time. Some that's always good, some items that are played, some only played in a few builds or quite niche. Some items that are only there to counter in draft if you see what the enemies have. And then, of course, also very niche are just items that almost never see any play, which are not that many right now, but definitely very niche. Alright, so Muscle Band starting off strong, one of the best items in the entire game, can always be played if you want to. Same for Focus Band. These two are pretty much universal good items that can be played on almost every single Pokemon. Even on tanks you can play Muscle Band, on mages, on attacker Pokemon, on speedsters. It's just a universal, insanely good item. Same for Focus Band. Focus Band kind of gives you a second life in a lot of team fights, so it will always be a very valuable item. Buddy Bear is definitely a played item, but also very rare. It's kind of something you only play in 3 stacks, 4 or 5 stacks, you know, so nothing too crazy. Scope Lens is kind of build defining for crit Pokemon, right? If your character needs a crit, then Scope Lens is the way to go, and it's an amazing item for it. Shellbell definitely more unique, more niche, and only played in a few builds. For example, Icy Wind Glaceon plays it sometimes, Hexganger. It's not very popular. I should even say very niche, because off the top of my head, there's maybe 3 or 4 characters who might play Shellbell, but doesn't mean that it's bad, right? Yeah, but it's not really played all too often. Definitely not. Energy Amplifier is definitely a more played item compared to... I mean, honestly, really not either. It's also kind of only played in certain Unite Move builds, if you really want to play Unite Move. But yeah, it's definitely still played. Vice Glasses kind of just exists because there's no better special tech item to replace it yet. So definitely makes it a bit better. Score Shield is very niche. I do like it, but it's definitely a more niche item. Chaos Cookie also kinda niche, but a bit less than these two, I would say still. Especially right now with the Vanguard Bay existing, it is still pretty good and does some stuff happen. Attack rate is always good. I mean, I don't think it's good in the best category, but it's definitely always a good item. Of course, can be quite risky. Special Specs is a bit worse, because I feel like the attack damage item just gives you so much more. So it's a bit lower, but I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not ranking necessarily by their strength, but like just how often these items are played compared to others, you know? Leftover is definitely very niche. XP share also is very niche now. It's only good if you invade, right? Like the time of XP share kind of over. It's only good if you invade and leave your lane partner alone a bit. If you're scared you're gonna fall behind, then XP share is good, otherwise just don't. Assault Vest is definitely a counter item. Same for Rocky Helm. You kind of see, oh, the enemies have a lot of physical damage. I want a bit more defense for early game. The enemies have a lot of special attack. I want more special attack for early game. Then you take one of these 2 items on tanks or rounders maybe. Otherwise, I would just stay away from them. For sure. Razor Claw is always one of the best items in the game. It's just so strong on most all-rounder. But I think it's still second category, because it is not always played. There's maybe in a game of 10 players, there's maybe like 1 or 2 playing Razor Claw. But on those Pokemon, it is very strong. So definitely a very strong item. Same for Choice Specs, the must-have special attack item most of the time. Helps you with burst damage. Helps you also last hitting in lane, because if you time it well on last hitting, you're going to get the last hit, because the bonus damage of it works also against wild Pokemon. Weakness Policy, definitely played. I think it's still worse than attack rate, but kind of same category as maybe this right here. These are played, but they're not always good necessarily, right? They're just solid items you definitely want to play, because there's nothing better there for attack damage if you really want to get attack damage done. But Exit Brace has also kind of fallen off, same for Drive Lens, because they got nerfed, right? They lost some current reduction. It's harder to stack them nowadays, but they're of course still played, but not always anymore. Especially on competitive. In competitive, you almost never see these items anymore. It's kind of just still like solo queue stuff, but you won't have a lot of damage done. Rapid Fire Scarf is also quite niche right now, I would say. I don't know many characters who play it. Maybe there's like Garchomp. Razor Leaf Decidueye, which is not a good sign. Yeah. Like in those bits, of course, it's strong, but otherwise, definitely nothing you want to play. Drain Crown, very niche. only a few bits play it. Like also Garchomp can play it. Aquatail, Azumarill, which I like it to play in, right? Besides that, there isn't much. I would play Draincronin, so of course very niche as well. Like these are items that maybe like 1 or 2 Pokemon play. You know, Leftovers is still played by like Sableye, for example, right? So it's still played. So I'm not going to put like a trash tier or anything, because every item is used by some Pokemon, right? Definitely. Spoon will always be good. I don't know if it's in the best category, but probably. It's just every special attack Pokemon can run it, and there's never anything wrong with it. You can always run it in every special attack Pokemon, and it's gonna get work done. It's funny, this right here is like a Goodra build. You can literally run these 3 items on Goodra, and you do very well with it. Massive, Focus, and Spoon. This is actually literally a normal Goodra build you can play for Muddy Water or something, for example. Rescue Hood is played in Eldegoss, in Blissey, in Comfey. Clefable can play it. It's item mainly made for supports. So in those it's always played. But of course it's only a fully support item. These are of course counter items, right? Obviously they're very strong. Curse Instance and Curse Bangle, but they're only counter pick items. If the enemies have healing, you pick those. If they don't have healing, you don't. Unless you want to dive maybe Golds the entire game, then of course you can also still do it. Resonant Guard feels like a just must-use item for tanks still. It is always good, just because of the shield it gives to you and your allies. Charging Charm, very niche as well. I don't know many... which builds even use Charging Charm right now? Maybe Talonflame, but not even Talonflame, because he wants to like run Razor Claw, Tech Weight, and maybe Exilbracer. So Charging Charm, sadly, currently very niche of an item. Same for Floatstone. Only some play it, but on those it's pretty good. But it's also very, very niche. But I guess it's kind of the same as this then right here, right? Maybe I should just make a very niche category in general and just remove this one because, yeah. Maybe I just make this happen. Because, you know, I don't think these are played more necessarily either. Let's put Cookie here. Because I do think Cookie's very strong. Let's actually do this right here. I think that's a bit better. Makes more sense. Gold Amulet, definitely. This deserves maybe a tier on its own. But if you play backcap Pokemon, it is strong, and there's some scoring combinations. Of course, also very niche. Same with this right here. Choice Scarf. I do like it. I think it's a fun item. Does it seal of use? Not really. But I do think it's pretty good right now. If you want to try out this item, definitely give it a go. You're going to have fun with it on certain basic attack Pokemon. It's just a bit awkward because you have to do 3 basic attacks in a row, and you can never use a move in between, otherwise it doesn't really activate. Big Root is very strong right now. Of course, an insane item on a lot of healing Pokemon. But there aren't that many, honestly. There aren't that many. So, yeah. Gonna go into the plate category. Then we have Tenacity Belt is over. I mean, Tenacity Belt, I don't think I put into the best category, but it's a crazy strong item, obviously. As you can tell, on Defender Pokemon, it's going to be a must-use, but it's only really for Defender Pokemon, right, as well, so... Yeah. Like, this can be played on every single special attack Pokemon. Doesn't matter if they're Speedster, Allrounder, Supporter, Defender, right? These items, that's why they're in the best category, can work on their entire role, on their entire damage type. Like, Master Band can work every single character, Focus Band can, and Spoon on every single special attack Pokemon. By Scope, Attack Weight, Razor Claw, they can be used on all of them, but not really must-have or must-use or necessarily is going to be, you know, game-defining or anything, so... Yeah, that's why I'm going to put them 1 tier lower. These are like the best tank items right here, right? Resonant Guard, Bell, Focus Band. Best damage items for attacker, you know, attack weight and this. So, I think that's how I'm going to categorize them. I think it makes sense. And Tessie Belt, of course, is a counter, but it is a very bad item. Not going to lie. It is maybe I should sort them also by strength in their own tier. So let's do that as well. Let me sort this by strength. What I think are the best items in each role, honestly. I think it would make the most sense right here. Again, Scope Lens, of course, is very strong. Oh, it's kind of difficult, actually, in this tier. It's kind of difficult. Okay, so this one is definitely the worst. This one is the best. Second best. This one, Curse Instant, is always better than Curse Bangle. That's for sure. Assault Vest is a bit better than Rocky Helm, but also kind of similar. And Tenacity Belt is the worst one of these items. Out of these items, Rapid Fire Scarf is definitely the best. Then I would say maybe Shell Bell for cooldown reduction. maybe Charging Charm, maybe XP share still, but XP share is so niche, right? This one's definitely the worst. Leftovers is the second worst. Actually, maybe Leftovers is the worst item. But it's good on certain Pokemon still. Score Sheet is quite nice, actually. It's just kind of underrated. Float Stone is definitely maybe up here somewhere. Maybe here still, actually. So yeah. Actually hard to sort them. Choice Scarf better than Drain Crown. Maybe also better than Score Sheets, XP share. Again, XP share is only a pre-made item now. I don't see it being viable in solo queue at all, so. And the play category, I really can't categorize. All these items have their niche, right? Let's put the tank items, maybe these are the tank items right here, the support items. These are the special attack items, physical items, right? You can play all of those, and there's not much you do wrong with them. You can just pick those items, and do totally fine with them. Now the important question is, what items should I get to level 40? Are some of you wondering? Honestly, my tip is, don't focus on level 40 too much. Level 40 items do not matter as much as people think it does. The stat increase are not worth it, the item enhancers you have to use for most items. The best level 40 item in the game is Scope Lens. Scope Lens, you get crit rate 1%, which is a good amount. So if you play, I don't know, if you play Absol, if you play Surf Fetched, if you play Greninja, maybe Cinder Ace and stuff, if you play crit Pokemon and you enjoy them, get Scope Lens to level 40. Otherwise, I don't know, just one of the items that are used by everyone, like Razor Claw is used by a lot of Pokemon, so you can get Razor Claw to 40. Energy Amplifier gets Current Reduction, you can get this to level 40 if you want to. Same for Shell Bell. Drive Lens, Exit Bracer do also give Current Reduction, but it's not really a lot. Otherwise, HP-based ones are good, like Resonant Guard or Bell, if you want to use HP. HP is always valuable. Focus Band, if you're Focus Band enjoy, you can always get Focus Band up. If you play Muscle Band a lot, you can get Muscle Band to 40. Just don't focus on it too much. It really doesn't have that big of an impact. The only impact I think I see is having Scope Lens on 40 if you play crit Pokemon. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, hope it was helpful, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!